Aloha everyone, it's Kiera Molina with Key Readings. Today we're coming with a Reluctant Hero Tarot series video. The Reluctant Hero Tarot series covers ways that we as the heroes of our journey have to deal with some internal limitations that can derail us from our paths. This series will help us overcome and manage those things. Today we are covering the fear of missing out. For me personally, I do have the fear of missing out, but I can look at the things that I'm scared of missing out on and kind of understand comparing what value does this thing that I don't want to miss out on have versus the value of what I could be doing with my time instead. So we are going to do a reading to explore how the fear of missing out can manifest in our lives as a collective and what we can do to start to manage and overcome that fear. As always, our first question is, how does the fear of missing out, or FOMO, manifest in our lives? And to that, we have the Hermit. The Hermit is a card that talks about self-isolation, and with the way this card is speaking to me, it's really saying that despite us fearing missing out on things, by choosing the activities that we are currently choosing over the activities that will actually be of value to us in our lives, that we are isolating ourselves and stagnating ourselves at this point in our journey. By fearing missing out, it's kind of a paradox in that we think that we are, maybe if we're choosing to go out with friends instead of staying home and studying, we think that we are being social and not isolating ourselves. But what we end up doing is, since we have dispensed that time and energy into an activity that can be fun in the moment but doesn't actually help us on our paths to fulfillment, that we are keeping ourselves at the current stage. So while you may think your friends are putting forth the same amount of energy, they may have a better balance, and so they're using their time wisely. They're using their time to balance their wants and their needs, so they're actually getting further on their paths than you are, and you may be thinking overall in the same area, but you're actually leaving yourself behind because you're choosing to be out with other people or to just be doing things that aren't conducive to your actual goals versus spending that time and energy towards the things that are conducive to your goals. I feel the Hermit card is also telling us, by operating in this fear of missing out, that we are keeping our light and what we actually have to offer, and what ways that we could actually show up in the world. We're keeping that in a cage, or keeping that locked up and not sharing it with the world in the ways that are actually going to nurture us and make use of our natural gifts and talents. How does the fear of missing out derail us on our paths? Ooh, a bunch of cards just fell out. Let's put those back in. And so, first card we had is the Star in reverse. And the Star in reverse is kind of similar with the way that we talked about the Hermit. The fear of missing out is derailing us because it is keeping us from actually showing up in the way that we are meant to show up in these spaces. I keep coming back to this idea of friendships and prioritizing what we think is helping the friendship and helping the relationship versus what is helping ourselves. Ultimately, when you put more energy into what you think is going to improve something that's kind of outside of yourself, and versus the energy that you could be putting into yourself, is that everything suffers because you're not putting the energy into yourself. You're not actually showing up in the best possible version of yourself in those relationships or in those instances where you are doing activities that are fun and leisurely and not necessarily actively moving you on your path to fulfillment. Those activities are still important and are still valuable on our path to fulfillment, but it's about knowing the timing to show up in those ways and how we are choosing to show up in these ways. If we're showing up in just party, let's go out and have fun and drink and none of those things are inherently wrong, but if we are showing up without having put equal amount or greater amount of effort into our goals, into our self-maintenance, and into becoming the person that we want to be, then ultimately we are suffering and those connections are suffering. And we're not actually showing up as authentically and as joyfully as we really could be showing up. And we also have the Strength card. And the Strength card is really telling us that we are robbing ourselves of strength. We are being not disciplined. We're being not committed and determined to actually stay on our path and stay on the path to fulfillment. What is going to actually make us feel like we are doing something worthwhile, because we're so concerned with missing out on what we think is going to be fun or what we think may be a better opportunity versus what we are actually already in our mind, aware and conscious on a spiritual, metaphysical level. You can feel this is the direction that I need to be going, but I am scared of missing out on these other times and these other opportunities to do other things. We're getting derailed because we are weakening our muscle that is helping us be determined. We're weakening that endurance muscle. We're weakening that perseverance muscle. We're weakening our self-discipline, and all of these things are so important to just maintaining a daily standard, a quality of life that is comfortable and fulfilling for us. Because when you are disciplined, then you understand, I might not feel like doing this right now, but I'm doing this for a greater reason than what may be immediately apparent to me or what is at the forefront of my mind. Like, mundane example, I don't feel like washing the dishes, but washing the dishes versus sitting and playing a video game and watching a Twitch stream, which is something that I do often, is going to be more fulfilling and going to improve my quality of life more than doing the other thing, doing the thing that's entertaining. Oh, I don't want to miss whatever could possibly happen on this Twitch stream or whatever. What if I did both? You know what I'm saying? I absolutely can meet myself halfway, wash the dishes and watch the Twitch stream. Or there's ways that we can manage and meet ourselves halfway versus just forsaking the maintenance and forsaking the task that requires us to use that muscle of self-discipline and endurance. So how can we manage the fear of missing out? And for that, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. And the Page of Wands in reverse is asking us to slow down a little bit. The Wands are typically a very fast-paced card, a fast-paced suit in the tarot deck. And because it's in reverse, it's not asking us to take out that passion and that fire that we feel, but to learn how to better control it, become more aware of the ebb and flow of energy that we do have throughout the day, throughout the week, so that we are making sure that we are allocating that energy according to what we want to accomplish. So I have all this energy. Would it be more fulfilling to me and my spirit to do X, Y, and Z versus, the other option? Would it be more fulfilling for me to go hang out with my friends and get drunk and stay out really late? Or would it be more fulfilling for me to use this energy to take care of some things around the house, and then whatever energy I have left after taking care of the maintenance, taking care of the top priorities, then I can use that spirit energy to go and still have a good time with my friends and still be lazy and a little indulgent and just sit around and be entertained. It would be much more fulfilling, in my opinion, in my experience, to use time and energy towards maintaining a high quality of life and a high feeling of achievement and accomplishment. And then having that energy of achieving and accomplishing something, to go then and reward myself with this experience that I was scared of missing out on because I was prioritizing myself and my quality of life. So, final question, what is our immediate next step? After this reading, after receiving this wisdom, what's the immediate next step for us to manage the fear of missing out? And we have the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is, again, echoing that message to slow down and to get in touch with our feelings, our emotions, as well as our bodily sensations. And let that be a lens through which we look on the tasks. So today, I have these following tasks and events set up: washing the dishes, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning my room, going to a party with my friends, playing this video game to get this certain achievement. Okay, when I look at these tasks, how do I feel when I think about them? Am I a little reluctant? Does it kind of give me that twist in my gut, like, ugh, I don't feel like doing this? Does it excite me? Does it make me a little anxious and a little hype? And just take note of those things. And then you can start to devise a plan on how to approach these different activities based on how you feel about them. Okay, I don't feel excited to clean the bathroom. I don't feel excited. But also, how do I feel looking at the bathroom in the state that it is currently? And how can I manage these conflicting feelings for the best possible outcome? Maybe I just clean the tub and the toilet and I leave the sink for another day. Maybe I do 20 minutes on and 20 minutes off so that I can give myself the time dedicated to this task, but also still give myself the break that I need to actually still feel a little bit of motivation to keep going for it. And we also have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is telling us that this is an opportunity for us to combine the emotional aspect that drives us with our logic and reasoning so that we can better assess and be in control of the feelings. So when I say that, feelings come from something that stimulates us. And so we can take that feeling and that emotional stimulus, not intellectualize it, but look at it and kind of talk to it, get to know it a little bit better so that we can then have a much more compassionate and effective way of working with our feelings so that it doesn't become the thing that guides us before our head. Our heart cannot see. Our heart does not have eyes to really assess the environment like our brain does, like our head does. So we should listen to and consider our heart and our feelings and our bodily sensations, and then we should use our logic and reasoning to be able to work with those sensations and be in control of them so that they don't overtake us, and then we're just moving from that space of feeling without first considering, does indulging this feeling actually help me, or is it just going to become a cycle that ends up recurring? The feeling just keeps coming back and strengthening itself. So the last part of the reading, as always, we're going to draw a Moonology oracle card. And the card that we have is New Moon in Aries. There's a new moon tonight, and I don't know what sign it's in, but New Moon in Aries, it's time to take action. I really hope that this reading was helpful to you. I hope that it really helps you take control and feel empowered to make the decisions that are best for you and your path to fulfillment. If you would like a personal version of this reading, then you can book with me at KiReadings. That's kireadings.square.site. It will be in the description. Feel free to comment on this video. I would appreciate your comment on how this helped you or how you have dealt with the fear of missing out in your own personal path. And I will see you in the next video as well. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Aboru, aboye, aboshishe, and blessings, everyone.